Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Heroes in a Half Shell, Turtle Power. Hey guys, welcome back to the Bucket Think Tank. So, today we're going to talk about the first four issues of Jason Aaron's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Why the first four when they're not like issue 6? Shut up. Um, no, but primarily we're doing this because the first four issues are about each individual turtle and sort of where they are before our story properly begins. And I think this is a really good idea on Aaron's part. Gives a sort of look into each individual turtle's headspace and sort of go on from there. Because really, where the turtles were left off in the previous run, really the turtles were divided. In sort of the nicest way possible. Like after the whole mutination thing, um, as well as a whole section of the of a city of the population becoming mutants, they just sort of weren't that special anymore. They didn't have to hide. It wasn't great for mutants, but it is what it is. And really, the story sort of had each of them sort of going in their own different directions. Leonardo was taking on students. Raph was being an enforcer, basically a cop. Uh, Michelangelo gone to the world of podcasting, and Donatello was focusing on the intricate mysteries of time, space, and magic. Out of all those, Donatello's was the weirdest one, but it was actually my favorite part. So with that run ended, well, they didn't really feel a reason to reset the status quo. Like, well, no, let's keep going. And now here they are. They've all gone their separate ways for one reason or another, and here we are. One is about everyone's favorite. Well, not really everyone's favorite, but the one often accepted to be the other leader, Raphael. And Raphael is in prison, and he's never looked more like Jason Todd than he has here. And we don't quite know what he did. Granted, in the last issue, Raph, before the relaunch, Raph was accused of murder. So there we go. But what's interesting about this issue is it implies that even the inmates don't know what Raph did. Like there's no rumors or anything. Everyone thinks he did do something, but as Raph points out, the place is saying he's never been, let alone is too far away. And what Raph does notice is, like, he's kind of happy here. Nothing to do but beat people up. And he likes that. He likes it. Nothing complicated about it. He knows they've got a shiv ready to use on him, but no one has the courage to do it. Everyone wants to be the one to really take out Raph, just because, like, why not? Raph is like, these are all terrible people. I have no problem beating them up. As a matter of fact, he even has a deal with the ward, like, hey, I help rein some things in, I do it well enough, and you get me out of here. Despite all of this, Raph is still sort of missing his brothers. He doesn't want to admit it. As a matter of fact, a big thing about this story is that over the course of these four issues, each turtle will sort of try to avoid admitting that they miss their brothers, to imply that there has been a falling out, something more than what we saw in the previous run. This one's actually pretty short. The connecting factor here is, well, the Foot Clan each show up. And my one sort of issue about this is Raph refers to himself as a shadow warrior. I'm like, just say ninja. Why? Why? I guess maybe to distinguish themselves from the Foot? I don't know. I mean, he also, yeah, excuse me. Um, Raph pretty much goes through here unchallenged. He knows that these particular Foot Clan members have removed their tongues. But it's also weird because last he'd heard, Karai had gotten the Foot under control. Like, in this continuity, Karai is not the daughter of the Shredder, but the granddaughter of the Shredder. Granted, this continuity has a bunch of really fun takes. Like, the turtles here are actually reincarnations of Japanese ninja. Yeah, weird thing. If you like, we can go over the whole previous run of Ninja Turtles on a comic run talk. Really fun. But overall, it's kind of it for this one. Raph is now on the run because, among other things, they've killed the warden and made it think that he did it. So he's like, yeah, I gotta figure out what's going on. He also thinks that, hey, they're gonna go after my brothers. Overall, issue one, I think, was a great introduction. Making Raph be the number one turtle for this one, like the first issue, I didn't quite get until I thought about it for a second. I'm like, oh, yeah, it makes sense. Raph is often the most dynamic turtle. He's often the one going through the most. So yeah, it works. Also, red, power color. There you go. Two is about, well, the I think the most popular turtle and the one that is handled like the most consistently. Whose leg is that on the cover? Like what leg is that? I don't quite get this cover now that I look at it because Mikey is all the way over there, crouched down. So whose leg? I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, Michelangelo is actually a celebrity in Tokyo. All right, he's got his own TV show. He's a ninja in this one, beating up people with, well, rubber nunchucks. And what's interesting about this one is this story is about Mikey talking about nunchucks and how the first thing you have to learn about nunchucks is like you're gonna hurt yourself. All right, you're gonna get hurt. It's fine if you can't accept that. You're never gonna master the nunchuck and do what you want to do, which is hit other people with it. But really, Mikey's living his best life here as a celebrity, going to parties that have congressmen, movie stars, and famous chefs. And, Mikey gives people what they want, which is him. But even after having like this quality meal, he has to admit this is the best meal he's ever had. The best meal he's ever had is, well, with his brothers. Pizza, in the old sewers. It's a sad thing for each of them to admit. And I think what really sells this in a lot of ways is that Mikey sort of realized, like, you know what? Despite all this, I've kind of let myself go. Uh, you know, uh, I'm a ninja on television. uh, you know, um, I come home at the end of the day and I eat pizza. I eat frozen pizza, and I watch kung fu movies and I fall asleep on the sofa. Um, he's become an old man. And as you do, when you think it couldn't get any worse, the Foot Clan attack. He's like, okay, what's going on? Oh, Super Mutant Turtle Power Go is apparently his catchphrase. He's a Power Ranger turtle. That's kind of meta, because not only were the Ninja Turtles on an episode of the Power Rangers, they even had a crossover comic. But anyway, so Mikey fights, and he sort of realizes how out of practice he is. He doesn't realize he's been poisoned, as a matter of fact. And so, as he sees, he gets berated by his siblings. Well, the images of his siblings. Leo berates him. Raph berates him. Even Donnie, who points out your TV show's not even that good. And Mikey sort of surprised everyone realized he did this. Like, he let himself get beat up so he could upchuck whatever poison was in there. And then he grabs his diamond-studded nunchucks, which I know people love, but to me, it's just so stupid. It's just so stupid. But whatever. It works. He puts on the shades. He goes in and nunchakus all over the place. Is that a word, nunchakus? Well, actually, nunchakus just nunchucks, but whatever. And it's really cool to see Mikey get back into this. But then, of course, Raph shows up, like, hey, I'm here to help you. And Mikey is sort of not happy to see Raph. And this sort of implies that there was some sort of issue between them all and they're falling out. Overall, issue two is, I think, a bit stronger because, well, we're not really explaining everything going on with Mikey. Like, the mystery of Raph is how he ended up in prison. All right, the deal he made with the warden and the plan to get out of there. That's all adding a bit too much. Mikey was like, "Hey, look, I'm here. I'm successful. I'm a star, baby. Yeah," and I'm actually not happy. It's very reminiscent of Bolin in season two of Legend of Korra, except where Bolin is sort of admitted, like, hey, I'm not really a hero when I want to be a hero. Mikey sort of realized this is actually really depressing, really lonely, and I will never admit it, but I miss my brothers. It's also fun to see that, hey, he's sort of the youngest and the joke of the Hamato clan, but it turns out he's really just as capable as any of them, and I did like that in particular. Especially considering, like, the whole Last Ronin thing. Next up is everyone's favorite turtle. Everyone, no, he's not everyone's favorite turtle. Um, this story's edgelord. Mr. Takes Everything Too Seriously, Leonardo. Leo is in Ghana, and he is here to die. So there is a strait where the soft shell turtles will eat the flesh off the dead. And Leo's like, you know what? I'm in like this weird spot now. I gotta try to get back to me, or get put on the right path, find a new direction. And he offers himself to the turtles, like, please, eat me. And they just go like, what the hell is this? Martha, is this a turtle? Like, kids, get out, kids, get in the water. It's a weird turtle, man. And they don't seem to care. Leo seems to think that there's something deep and introspective as he tries to become one with the turtles. Like, am I a man or a turtle? Today I shall be a turtle. And I'm just. What? There's interesting stuff here. Some culture about the soft shell turtles and how they eat the flesh off the dead. And I forgot the name of the river. The river in, a river in India where they, drop the dead. And in about a day, they can clear all the flesh off of a dead body. And to me, that's just kind of creepy. Leo's like, that'll fix me. That'll fix me. He stops poachers. He goes in like, okay, I guess I can't be a turtle. I'll be a man and put some hurt on some people. And he's just sort of there, trying to find introspection. He's like, you know what? I'm going to live here. This is my life. And he also doesn't talk about what's going on. Interesting enough, Leo mentions his brother's possibly the least here, which I think would admit the idea that maybe whatever falling out had something to do with him, or he's trying to move past it the most. But he also realized, oh my god, they're coming back. And so this time it's Foot. So he tells all the soft shell turtles to go into. Also, these turtles freak me out the most. I can't. I can't. It's the noses. And an episode of Gumball. We all know the episode of Gumball with the turtle. So it's Foot Clan, and they're coming on helicopters. Like, fine, I'll dig up the katanas. All right, all right, all right. They want this. They'll get this. And yeah, he's here. They got rifles on. Like, okay, that's fine. I have carbon steel alloy, or just carbon steel. And he takes them out. Realize, okay, well, the Foot would not go after just one of us. Nah, they're going after my brothers. All right. So he hijacks the helicopter, and he interrupts a really sort of not really interesting, but an argument between Raph and Mikey as they're fighting off the Foot Clan. Namely the fact that, hey, they're still mad at each other, but it also seems they are sort of, in their own way, arguing back to a sense of familiarity. And when he comes back, when he shows himself, Raph goes, let me guess, you're going to say we should have listened to you in the first place, and then what happens? Like, no, I'm here to tell you they're also after Donatello. So we got to go. Overall, Leo's issue is a bit boring, but that's because I think it's supposed to be. I think it's very in line with his character that he's really just spent a lot of time trying to move on. And for him, moving on, I think, might be the hardest. But then again, he didn't have anything, so I think that might have been the hardest part for him. Like, what do I do now? What do I do now? I'll let some turtles eat me. There we go. It's effectively Leo's trying to undergo a cycle of rebirth, trying to, he's either trying to die or revive himself, metaphorically speaking, by letting turtles feed on him. It's still weird no matter how you say it. But it's an interesting point Leo talks about, well, maybe at some point in life you'll find yourself no longer on a path. And maybe you can go anyway, but maybe sometimes the easiest and best thing to do is to go back. So there's an attempt here. Um, one nitpick, and this is the Michelangelo one. Now, Mikey refers to them as throwing stars. I'm like, the shuriken. The shuriken. Which basically means throwing star. But I mean, come on now. Come on now. Don't do that. Don't. And finally, this one was my favorite because he's my best boy. Donnie comes in, and let me tell you right now, you think everyone else had something going on? No. No. Donnie is going through it. Currently, Donnie is still having an artificial shell. Uh, he has been traveling through timelines. He has been dabbling in magical forces. He is not much. Like, everything kind of hurts. He has constant headaches. He can't even look at a screen for longer than a minute. he spent a lot of time at Splinter's grave because, yeah, in this current continuity, Splinter has died. He's been dead for a while. He and Alfred have been getting the short end of the stick here. Then, but granted, I think Splinter went out had a much better story than Alfred did, in at least current comics, anyway. But anyway, he's sort of heading to New York, trying to find somewhere to go, and he finds a rat. He's like, oh, that's cute. That's funny. I was thinking about my dad. Here comes a rat. Oh, look at that. He follows the rat. The rat shows him a bunch of mutants who have been taken, and then he gets taken to the Sunshine Safari Park. And yeah, so Donnie is showing that he's also continued to lose his mind because in this safari park, well, what happens is for about $2 grand, you can spend 5 minutes with any of the creatures in this park, and you can rough them up. If you lose, no refunds. Everyone wants to fight Donatello. Why? Because that's Donnie's plan. So while Donnie keeps repeating everything and looking crazy, what he's actually doing is he's studying everything outside of his cell. He's studying, hey, the guard movements, the shift changes, listening to what they talk about, seeing the timers, studying the electric fence, trying to get a hold of the codes. The problem is he can't really seem to focus unless he's out of the park, out of his cell. So what he does, he basically intimidates them, or like tricks them into like, hey, fight me. I'm all weak and harmless, or I bet you won't. And because he's a bunch of stupid people with money, they take the bait. The other mutants are very grateful to Donnie, but they're also worried about him because Donnie is also sneaking out to not just get them food and medicine to help them out, but he seems to be talking to someone in there. He says he's talking to his father. It's just an actual rat. And he thinks the rat's talking back to him. So, yeah. They're like, yeah, thank you, Donnie, but the reason we want to get out of here is because we're worried about you. And it's because Donnie has like this feel like, it's okay. I got your plan. All right? We'll get out of here soon enough. He just said, I need one more fight, and I'll understand everything to get out of here. But yeah, me and my dad, yeah, we're talking. We're getting a plan to get you all out of here. Me and Dad, me and Master Splinter. They're like, is his dad dead? Yes, Dad's dead. Don't. All right, he's freaking me out, but he's saving us, so shut up, Gary. All right. So the big day comes for one more fight, but apparently they've had enough of getting beaten up by him, so they all jump him. I think it was 20 grand they paid for this. I'm like, okay, all right. And so, yeah, Don's like, okay. Here's the thing: I fight better than all of them, but the problem is they're mad and there's a lot of them. So the skill point doesn't really matter if I can't create distance to work. But he's like, fine, I know exactly what to do. It's time. He goes in like those morons. They never clean their fingers. I can guess the code. Gets the code. I know how long it takes for that taser to charge. Electronic fence is down. I've listened to them talk for days. I know their favorite celebrities, their pets' names, their kids' names. I know birth dates. I can hack into the computer in less than a minute. There we go. We're good. Oh no, here comes the foot. Are they working with these dumbasses? They aren't. They try to kill him. All right, so we're in. And for a moment, amidst all the chaos, Donatello remembers who he is. All right. He's a guy with a stick here to fight the good fight, here to help everybody. And yeah, I like it. I like it. Like, he's going through some stuff clearly, but at the end of the day, I think more than any of them, he's remembered who he is. And when Raph and Leo and Mikey come to find him, he's like, "Yeah, I've been talking to Father. Master Splinter's alive. He's right here." This rat is like, he is losing it, or is he? Or is he losing it? He probably isn't because that rat did lead him to the mutants, and it still hangs around him. So maybe, but they're also all equally freaked out. As a matter of fact, when they're like, "Father's alive. He's right here," Mike's like, "Oh, brother." Raph's like, "No." Mm-mm. Mm-mm. And that's how the comic ends. Ultimately, Leo's story is my favorite because he's actually, I think, amongst all of them, he's shown like, yeah, I should never have left my brothers. This is, it's wild. It's wild. He's having an identity crisis. He doesn't know who he is. Doesn't know where he's going. He's emaciated, all but like he's skin and bones in an artificial shell that is like turning on and off. I'm like, oh, look how they massacred my boy. But he shows his intelligence, like, hey, yeah, look, some days I'm crazy, other days I'm next level genius, and none of you know which is which. Except Father. Father knows. Isn't that right, Father? It's fun for the most part. So overall, that is the first four issues of Jason Aaron's Ninja Turtles. And how do I like it? I think it's a great character motif. This decision maybe would have worked, would have not worked. I can see something like, we should just have this be one big number one. Now that's Marvel logic. Actually, no, Marvel logic would be the same amount of pages, and then a couple of extra pages of the director's cut, which is just sketches that really, really only matter to those who, to collectors, not the average person. And they'll sell the regular one for like $2 less a week later. So no, I'm glad they went this route. Or issue 0, I think would have worked too. There was a prelude issue to this that didn't really matter, but overall, I think these first four issues are pretty solid. The Leo one is a bit weak in my mind. That's because it's just kind of boring and it has those turtles. But I think everyone else kind of worked. My favorite's Donatello. I would say then Michelangelo because he is sort of dealing with the superficiality of being a star, being a celebrity. Raph because it's such a straight line. I'm here and I'm here to fight. All right. This is what I live for. All right. And Leo because it was so pretentious, which is very in line with being Leo. So yeah, there we go. Um, in terms of, I think, overall quality, I would say Mikey's is probably the best. Then I would go Donnie because it feels like he's more picking up from where the last one left off because this is pretty in line with what Donnie was going through. And it was wild. Time travel, cosmic demons, meeting his mom. Actually, both Leo and Donnie have met their mom from a past life. I don't think Mikey and Raph have. So there's that. Um, I'd probably put Leo and Raph as tied. Because, like, whatever issues I have with the Leonardo one, it's still well told. It's still a story about where his headspace is. But I think it's a matter of taste at that point. But anyway, with that in mind, let's bring it to a close. If you're new to the Bug Authentic, feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe. What do you think about Ninja Turtles 1? Who's your favorite Ninja Turtle? And why is it Donatello? Because I know you all have great taste. And you won't be basic like Michelangelo. Nah, I'm kidding. There's no wrong choice with favorite turtle. Even even Venus. Even Venus. But anyway, this is the Bug Authentic signing off. Thanks for watching as always. May your fandom serve you well.